Welcome to Sports CTO Talks. In this series, we will be connecting with industry leaders from technology and sports industry, where we will simplify sports technology for you. I am Ami, your guide on this journey through the minds of tech leaders into the sports industry. We will dive deep into discussions and innovations who are driving in the industry, from AI to cloud, from cybersecurity to sustainability. If it is sports tech, we are talking about it. Today, we are going to cover a different topic and a different domain into the sports tech field. That is, we would be talking about something related to golf. Today, we have an amazing guest with us, Mr. Armando Ruperez. We welcome you, Armando.
Thank you, Amy. How are you? Nice to be in this space with you guys. It's really fun to talk about both of the passions that I have, right? Like technology and computers and everything that's done in my career, and obviously golf, which is the game that we all love and we we love to practice.
Absolutely. So, like, I would love to introduce him. He was born in Venezuela. He earned his computer engineering degree from University Simon Bolivar before stepping into the world of data-driven decision making. He spent 5 years with IBM, specializing in data warehousing, before taking on pivotal role as a CTO of a payment processing startup in Venezuela. But his passion for sports and technology led him to a new challenge, bringing innovation to golf. For the past 8 years, he has been the CTO of The Grid, a platform that blends technology, stats, and AI to help golfers improve the game. We welcome you once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, today, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so today he would be sharing with us about the community and consumer engagement into the niche sports. So, like Armando, my first question to you is, how can niche sports create a strong local community presence, despite it's not mainstream or it is limited mainstream recognition?
Well, I believe one of the things that we found during this journey in the grind with local communities and sports like golf, which is not a mainstream, as you were saying, um, is actually to try to facilitate the communication and the interaction between users. Um, in our case, we were trying to solve a pain point, which was originally when the app was created or when the company was founded. It was to provide users with a tool that will help them calculate their handicap. Their handicap, I don't know if you're aware, but is a way to measure the golfer's ability to play the game. And calculating that handicap is something that is very simple. It's just a formula that you have to follow. But in order to make that an official handicap, you will need to be certified in our case, in the United States, by the USGA, by the United States Golf Association, right? Which is the proprietary owner of the handicap formula. And what we did is we try to solve that pain point for users that were not part of a golf club that they were provided with a handicap. So we created this tool that allowed them to circumvent all the needs for the handicap by empowering them as a community. Meaning, in order to have the handicap originally, you will need to have a community of golfers that were grouped in a in a certain location, and they will have to have one leader, or in this case was called the chairman, and the chairman of that group will have to overview the golfing activity of everybody, and to promote at least a couple of events, like physical events where everybody could join and play. So in our case, what we did is, yes, using the or trying to solve a problem or a pain point for a certain community, and just make them, group together to have this ability to go through through this process of issuing a handicap for them. And it all started from there, right? As soon as you create this community and everybody knows each other and see their sports, and you start creating this relationship, it'll just they just grow stronger and stronger into into playing together and growing the game and growing, in our case, the usage of our app and the engagement of our app, right? So that's a good way that we're able to put in place.
Okay. So, I just want to understand the basics into the niche sports. What role does grassroots programs play into increasing the participation?
Yes. Well, obviously, just to make a small clarification, I think in the United States, golf it is not the most common sport, but I don't think it's that niche, right? Fortunately, here in the US, there are a lot of platforms that are helping the game grow from the beginning, from early ages of the kids. For example, I'm pretty sure that you have probably heard of this, but programs like the First Tee, or what the USGA and the, I don't know, Augusta National are doing with the Drive, Chip, and Putt initiatives, is bringing younger kids into golf and making them interest in sports and follow the rules, understand how it works, and they're also teaching them, a lot of the great values that this game has, like integrity and self control, and dealing with situations that you probably can't control, and you just need to face them and try to solve them and get the best outcome out of. So I definitely agree that programs like this on young ages will help a lot to increase the ability of these golfers to grow the game in the future when they are the grown-ups leading them.
Okay. So, when we are talking about young golfers and, young people playing, so, what role does the social media or the digital platforms basically, or, local ambassadors like athletes or influencers, play, or how do they help in building the community?
Well, this is the right time. If you want to understand how influencers can impact the game of golf, this is a wonderful time to talk about this, because the thing has been changing over the last, I would say, 2 years. Um, Traditionally, the influencers of the game were the pro golfers, right? That you could watch on the TV, and they will do uh, they will participate in tournaments, but as the tournament dictates, right? You watch them play, you have them as your idols, and you want it to be like them, right? But in the last few years, with all the changes that has been going with the PGA Tour and the Live Golf and all that situation, people has been uh, moving their attention from traditional golf into content created around golf on social media or digital networks nowadays. Well, one of the examples is Bryson DeChambeau, who is a professional golfer, one of the best in the games. He's actually the current, the US champion, the US Open champion, but he transitioned into being also an influencer and create his own content on YouTube, and now I would say, more famous of the content that he's doing, that the awesome goal that he's also available, able to play, right? Um, and nowadays there are some other figures that you can watch on the influencers spectrum that are as important as professional players, and they've become a huge part of this industry, and new generations just they don't feel like they have 5 hours to follow 18 holes on the TV, right? So they just want to watch 30 minutes of a guy playing, and it doesn't have to be great, but if it's fun to watch, then people will follow, and obviously it's just another example of how social media is changing the way that everything, business, sports, everything is consumed. So yeah, for sure, it's a huge moment for the game of golf also in this matter.
Okay. And as you were talking about tournaments, so what are the effective offline strategies? How can you engage the communities or general public rather?
Well, absolutely. You, at the end, for example, in our case, we when we created the grid and we started, having this app on the hands of the golfers, we wanted to understand how it worked, right? How they were able to use it, if there were things that they couldn't do, or even for us at the early stages to understand how it how it will perform in the hands of 80 golfers at the same time, like playing on the same competition. And we decided to create a tour. One of our shareholders, who is a professional tennis player, he decided to also join us into creating something that is called the Green Tour. And basically, what the Green Tour does is making physical events where you can meet with some people and compete for a tournament. Obviously, it wouldn't be as a professional tournament with lots of people watching, but for you, the feeling of just going there, play by the rules, having a trophy on your mind, fighting for that trophy with the people with a similar skill level that you have, it allowed us a lot to engage with our community. And we started with just like this, let's say, this lab test for us here in Miami area, and then from there it just started to catch the attention of those influencers that those chairmen that I told you before, that were using our app, or those communities that we have created in our app. And one of them said, like, you know what, I want to replicate that green tour that you guys have in Miami, here in Dallas. And that's how we started, creating new cities. And we realized this could also be a business. So, um, and it grew from there. Nowadays, the Green Tour is in 22 cities, or in 22 areas of the United States, and each one of them have super engaged communities. Obviously, it's not as big in terms of users, because we are not being able to reach as many places as we reach with the app, which is just a virtual distribution. This one would require people working on each one of the places. But whenever we're able to do this, the reaction of the community and how they involve, how they create this community, and they meet new people and they play with them, and at the end you're there for winning, and you create this healthy competition. It just engages a lot of the users into that. So definitely, having physical or offline events, it's something that we've been able to leverage, and we definitely feel like it's a way to engage with the community, for sure, breaking that glass barrier between your app and the physical world.
Absolutely. So, when you were talking about the 22 places, so just for a better understanding, what are the regional and cultural elements you might have encountered as a technology person that, how can engagement strategies be more relatable or more authentic while you're making a app?
Well, it's I mean, it's part of each one of these communities. They probably they have their own nuances. All of them are here in the U.S., but I'm pretty sure they have nuances around their own like local culture. And what we've been able to do is pound a little bit on the on the differences that each one of them have. For example, we have uh, we have very different weather between locations here in the U.S. Luckily for us here in the Miami area, we can play golf all around the year. But there are some other ones that they just can't, right? They because of the winter. And in those situations, what we've been able to do is create things around their small calendar that will engage them more because of the limited time that they have. And even when the conditions are not great, and we try to market them as, the challenge of the tundra challenge or something like that, that it will create this around their limitations with the weather, that it will catch their attention and want to play into those tournaments. So, well, what we've been able to do and try to leverage the cultural differences of local communities. Once again, with this example of the Green Tour, uh, we've been able to leverage like I don't know rivalries or say between communities. We have a tour in Orlando and we have another one in Jacksonville, and they just wanted to meet each other and try to compete against the two tours, and kind of for pride see which one had like the best golfers. And we were able to have an event last year where a selection of players from each one of the tours, they just met halfway in a course, so nobody's home advantage, and they just played um, like a Ryder Cup event, a team event, and they just had a blast, right? And that's one of the things that we've been able to understand from the tour, which is a little bit more rooted to local communities, but also um, in general on the app, we've always tried to make this relatable to our audience by creating, I don't know, push notifications, let them know that probably, I don't know, one of their friends had like a bad hole. They made an eight. We locally here in the US, we call make scoring an eight on a hole. We call it a snowman. So we send a push notification saying, "Hey, your friend is playing in I don't know in Doral Blue Monster, and he made an eight on hole number four, right?" So by leveraging all that culture content, we try to make them engage into our app.
Okay. So, as you're talking about the engagement of fans or the, people. So, how can it be personalized, or how can niche sports create personalized fan experience so they can have loyalty towards an app or towards a product? How does that work?
Um, well, one of the things that I always feel like the best way to create engagement, or also we as a company feel that the best way to create engagement is to connect with the emotions. And I know it doesn't sound a lot like technology, but it actually is. Um, we feel like either connecting to positive emotion and remarking positive emotions, but also uh, dealing with pain points and making things easier for the user, you will also get the engagement, right? We try to do on both ends. For example, when you do your personal bests, we send a push notification to all of your friends, so all of your friends know that you were able to make your best score ever, and that will create this wave of congratulations and best wishes from your friends. And we are just pounding into that great emotion that you are feeling right now, and make you proud of it, and try to make you engage more and more into the experience. So that is customized, right? Because of whatever is your best score is different for each one of ourselves. If you have a great ability, then it would be a lower score. But maybe you're just starting in the game, and for you, just breaking 100 is such a big a deal, as much as it is for a very accomplished player that he just wants to break 70, right? And it will create the same satisfaction. And based on each one of the individuals, that's the best way for that we've been able to customize the experience to yourself, right? Um, Also, by having all your friends in it and connected with with the people that you care, obviously you will find yourself more engaged into using this, or just because you will see how your great friends did when they went out and played without even without you, right? So you are also enjoying their their passion and their experience throughout the customization of what they're doing just for you.
Okay. So, I want to understand now from the angle of AR and VR, getting people have started getting experiences of AR and VR. So, how can you, one create an immersive experience into niche sports?
Um, well, golf is actually has been trying to get into this VR a lot, and I think it's a no brainer for technologies company that are into this world to create experiences for users. Such golf is uh, uh, it's such a difficult game to play, in terms of it will require 5 hours of your day. If you want to play like your dream course, you will have to travel there, so it's also expensive. And obviously, the feeling is not the same as being in the same place. But I know there are such great apps right now that have been able to leverage the virtual reality to make you swing a club like a physical club, which is just a sensor, and it, it will it will feel real for you that you are actually playing on Pebble Beach or in whatever is the course that you like to go. Obviously, it will not go as far as the real experience. We all know that, but it's a great way that you can also engage and make users live their fantasy out of just this. Also, I mean, let me tell you something. Golf is also trying to make golfers engage with the game throughout the year, And here in the US, it's so difficult because there are places that you can arguably just play for 6 months. And since you cannot go out and play, all these simulators, all these virtual reality devices can help you use continue engage with your passion of the game. And I think I think it's a it's a different experience, but it will feed your crave for golf. Yes.
Okay. And like, what is the role of AI into fan engagement strategies, or, bringing people on the field into the sports?
Well, um, there are so many applications that nowadays we're trying to, or the whole industry is trying to do regarding the game of golf and AI. Um, Internally, we've discussed a lot what would be a fine line to go after in terms of the AI world and golf. Uh, there are a bunch of applications and a lot of people that is creating, swing analyzing tools that will help you understand what are the flaws of your golf swing and try to improve based on that. Um, in our case, we decided not to go into that route yet. We feel like using AI to understand your data, using AI to understand everybody's or the community data, and using AI to understand how the community have played, for example, a certain hole, it would be a better use for AI in our case. So what are we aiming for? We're aiming for saying, well, 60% of the players who made par or better on this hole, they made it when their first shot went to the right side of the hole. So it seems like the danger is on the left side. Try to keep it on the left, on the right side of the hole. Or things like um, yeah, 80% of players who putt from 50 yards away, from 50 feet away on this hole, three putted, right? In your case, your stat seems to be lower than that, but keep in mind that it seems to be a difficult green to putt, right? So that's the thing that we want to create. So sort of I wouldn't call it caddy because we're not trying to go as far as suggesting you, I don't know, what club to hit, or what yeah what type of shot you should hit, but at least we're giving you information to make an informed decision. Okay. And based on the community, I think AI is being able to to analyze all this information and give you insights based on the very self community of people that plays the game of golf within the app, and they probably have the same skill levels as you, or the same inconsistencies that you as an amateur golfer have, right? So that's the future of AI that we are leaning towards to. Obviously, the other ones, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying they're just approaching it probably differently. But it's just one of the many uses that AI could have in the game of golf.
Absolutely. So like, as we were talking about AI, AR, VR, so how can predictive analysis be used to create personalized fan engagement?
Um, well, what we usually um think about this is there a way that you guys can is there a way that we can understand the behavior of the user in terms of not just how they use the app and how they play the game, and try to try to use that information, try to understand their their analytics to react and to give them the prompt information at the prompt moment, okay, at the right moment. And I don't know. There are so many examples of things that we try to do when when we know the cadence of the of the times that the user play, or the golfer goes and play, we try to get in front of them and say, are you playing? Are you playing this weekend? Are you playing next weekend? When are you playing? So we're trying to make them engage and to have it on the back of their mind. So whenever they go into the golf course, they feel they need to go and track their round on the green.
Okay. Now we will move on to the next segment of the podcast, that is the rapid fire questions.
All right.
I will ask you a few questions. You will
Ooh.
have to answer it very quickly. Ready?
Okay. Got it.
Okay. If you could
Yes.
use, oh, sorry. If you could use only one golf stat to improve your game, what would it be?
Greasing regulation, because I think it's the one that compounds most of your game. And yes, greasing regulation.
Okay. AI or human caddy, who gives better advice?
Ooh. I think for average golfers that are playing a course that they don't know and the caddy probably wouldn't know, I would go with AI caddy. For professional golfers, I think that the knowledge that the caddies have on the courses that they usually play, I would go with the human. For pro human, for amateur golfers, AI for sure.
Perfect. What's one tech feature you wish existed in golf, but it still does not?
Try to find the ball for you. Like your ball is right here. I usually end up, I'm not a great golfer, so I'm always looking for my ball between the high grass and things. So probably yes, finding the ball for you.
Okay. What is harder, coding a new AI model or sinking a 10-foot putt?
I'm gonna go with sinking the 10 footer in a clutch match with one of your friends. That's hard.
Okay. What's your dream golf course to play on?
Well, a couple of them just pop into my mind, but I will go with Pine Valley because it's one of the most exclusive golf here in the United States, in New Jersey, and just to be able to get there, it would be yes.
Okay. Describe your golf game in one word.
My golf game in one world. I would say, as most of the amateurs, it would be unpredictable. Whenever you think that you can predict that you're even in bad shots, you are never going to be able to predict that eventually a good shot will come. So yeah, unpredictable would be for me. Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll move on to the next segment. That is, you will have to answer a question into 30 seconds.
All right.
According to you, what is the role of AI in niche sports, specifically to golf?
What is the rule?
What is the role of AI into
I'm
niche
sorry.
sports, specifically to golf?
Okay. Uh, I would say, let me think. I think you got me out of guard in that one. Um, I don't know. Can we? I mean, sorry. Can you explain a little bit more what you want? Maybe you can cut this part off.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is a recording, so I'm not worried. You can talk about AI in golf and you just have to answer it into 30 seconds. Like, what do you feel, how is AI shaping up in golf? Or what do you see the future of golf or any niche sport for that matter? And you can link it with AI.
Okay.
I'll ask again.
Okay. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. Now, the next segment, you will have to answer this question into 30 seconds. According to you,
Perfect.
how can AI or what can AI play a role into golf or niche sports?
Um, well, AI can play so many roles into golf. Uh, um, Even though this is a niche this is a niche sport, I think golf is being transformed a lot by AI. Even golf manufacturers are being able to create new golf clubs faster and faster just by iterate with AI and designing tools to make products that perform better. I think AI should be also into the discussion of how the very rules of golf should be changed. Um, there are so many things that probably can do uh, in in stats and all things that we are doing on the virtual side of the golf industry. I think AI can do a lot of things. As I was saying, uh, helping the coaching, helping the um, helping the statistic and understanding better the performance of a golfer. I think that's a clever way to use AI. I don't think we will remove, especially in a sport that is as traditional as golf, we will remove many things around the game, like the coaching and how how do you learn the game from a proper professional player or a proper professional coach, but help them to understand better how all the theory can be applied to one specific golfer. I think it's a wonderful use of AI.
Okay. Thank you, Armando, for the wonderful insights on niche sports and joining us today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and yeah, for sure, it's been fun. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, everyone, let's stay connected for more understanding on sports technology in the future. Uh, don't forget to share this podcast with your friends, families, or the people who like sports and technology, and leave any reviews or comments in the comment section. That was Armando sharing his insights on niche sports. Thanks for tuning in once again, and we will meet in the next episode. Till then, stay curious, stay inspired, keep exploring.